Hey everybody and welcome. Jennifer McCullum here with Jen's SFX, pro film artist, cosmetology teacher, and we are continuing a series of videos about ingredients. So a lot of times ingredients can be confusing, especially when it's a hot ingredient and you start seeing products that say, our ingredient today, paraben free. Paraben free, paraben free. And you're like, okay, well, what is a paraben? And is it good? Is it bad? I don't know what this is. So let's talk about parabens. Back in the 1920s, they were created as a chemical used to preserve your products, or a synthetic chemical, you might call it as well. And it helps to fight fungus, bacteria, and yeast so that your product has a longer shelf life. All right. Now, where do we find parabens? You can find parabens in your cosmetics, your shampoos, and things like that. Your food and beverages, and also your pharmaceuticals, medications you take. Absolutely. Sometimes parabens are in there. And when we got to the 1950s, parabens were more commercialized. So you started seeing them in more things. In fact, when you go into a grocery store, about 80 to 90% of your typical grocery items are going to have parabens in them. Crazy, right? So, why is that? They're cheap, they're effective, which is why a lot of companies use them. When you look on the back of your box, and you're like, does this have parabens? You're going to see methylparaben, ethylparaben, propylparaben, isopropylparaben, butylparaben, isobutylparaben. You're going to see a lot of those. And you would think, these are superheroes because they're helping to fight this bacteria and stuff like that. But with all the studies being done and people being concerned about this product, here's what they're seeing. Okay? And I'm going to say this, too much of anything is not great. We like chocolate cake, but too much chocolate cake will add on the pounds. We may like carrots. You eat too many carrots, too much vitamin A, your skin's going to turn orange, like my eyeshadow. So too much of anything is not good. Okay? I'm just going to say that right there now. But what are they seeing happening with parabens and products? All right? They're endocrine disruptors. All right? So they're similar to estrogen. They sometimes, their thinking causes puberty to come on earlier, acne, breast growth for men, neurological disorders, various types of cancer, and thyroid, issues. The biggest thing you'll probably hear about when you start looking at parabens is breast cancer. Hey, there was a study done overseas of 20 women. So this is a small study. 19 of those 20 women had 5 different types of parabens in their tumors. And we already talked about it. It can enter through the skin. It can enter through what you eat. All right. And they're thinking that it fuels the growth of cancer cells. All right. So for 25 years, we've known that estrogen and exposure to it can be linked to breast cancer. And women who have breast cancer are giving disruptors to the estrogen to help heal them. Wow. Reproductive issues is kind of a third thing they're looking at parabens, both in the mothers and the children. So it's not necessarily, even if you're doing, paraben-free stuff for the kids, it could still be there. And there's developmental issues. 4, and now this one I definitely agree with, allergic reactions. Okay, I do a lot of people, different skin types and different sensitivities, and I always ask, are you allergic to anything when they sit in my chair? So, people who have sensitive skin, damaged skin, broken skin, sunburned skin, eczema, psoriasis, contact dermatitis, I would say try and stay away from parabens because they could certainly aggravate and cause you to be more sensitive. Now, here's a cool fact. Parabens are not in most hydrocortisone and antibiotic creams, like triple antibiotic cream. And what do we use those for? rashes, itchiness, cuts, burns. You don't see parabens in those. I wonder why. Um, all right. So also they're being looked at for premature aging. Well, we know a lot of us don't want that. And why is it? Because they're noticing that it may decrease your collagen, changes the cell, morphology, messes with the keratocytes in your skin. Oh, the other thing they're seeing with parabens is an environmental toxins. And if you saw my thing about sunscreens, there are a lot of chemicals that are going to be banned in sunscreens because as they get in the water, they can affect the coral reefs, and their growth. And they're even finding parabens in fish that has been caught. Crazy, right? So parabens should be good if it's in a low quantity, but we see that they're doing a lot of testing and research now to see if parabens do cause all these things that we just mentioned. Now, already the EU and Asia and ASECN are categorizing parabens as a not good priority. We don't want this in our products substance. Well, Japan and a couple other companies are also following behind. Canada is conducting a lot of studies right now on parabens to decide if they're going to ban it in all of their products as well. And studies are always good. All right. Danish studies found paraben detection in the urine of men 2 hours after they put a lotion on that had parabens in it. There's proof right there. It gets into your system pretty quickly. Alrighty, so next thing. Until we start putting all of our skincare stuff in the fridge, we need something to preserve it. We need something to make it last longer and have a longer shelf life. That's why I always tell people, when you buy a skincare product, smell it. Especially if you're going with a more natural, organic, and that sort of thing. Smell it. And then use it, because as you use it, that smell is going to get lighter. And just like anything in your refrigerator, you can smell it to see if it's gone bad or it's still edible. Or you're going to see that little symbol on the back of bottles now that say 3M, 3 months, throw this away. That's how long this will last. So you're going to see shorter shelf life things if we stop using parabens. And there are already many natural and organic companies looking at alternatives, like oregano. Oregano oil is great at killing fungus, unless you're sensitive to it. They're looking at thyme and rosemary and lavender and grapefruit. Because how many of us are going to store products in the fridge? I'm going to tell you one thing. Eye gel is great to put in the fridge. Puffiness, sinuses, allergies, love anything cold. I'd recommend keeping your eye gel in the refrigerator. So argan oil, almond oil, they're looking at all of those too to be alternatives to the parabens for making them last longer in your product. So I hope that helps you understand parabens a little bit more. It's just a few of the facts, and the facts are changing every day. So I'll probably come on, at least in 6 months to a year with updates on parabens. Because with all the studies, it's definitely going to change. So the other thing I want to mention too, if you have sensitive skin and you're staying away from parabens or whatever, or you're allergic to certain ingredients, the percentage of ingredient in the product will cause you to react or not. So if it's like 1 or 2%, you may not have a reaction, okay? If it's 50% or more and you're allergic to that ingredient, you're most likely going to have a reaction. Okay, and those allergic reactions is red, itchy, hot, tight, rashy, and that sort of thing. All right, thank you guys. Comment below, especially if you learned some other cool stuff about parabens, good or bad. Try to keep these very factoid based. So definitely post some more. Let's talk about this and let's figure out what we need to do. And have a great day. Talk to you guys later.